Oh, hello, can you hear me now? Yeah, all right, hello, yeah, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. No, I'm fine, Mum, thanks, it's okay, it's all sorted now. Yeah, okay, all right, let's game then. Hello, and welcome to another episode of How to Be a Great Player. We are, of course, looking at 6 etiquette rules that you may never break if you are going to be playing online using one of the online role-playing systems, or if you're just going to be playing via Skype. And I think they're pretty obvious, but many people seem to not know that they're there or not care that they're there. Rule number 1. I had to write them down because I forget them since they make so much sense to me. Check your gear and your link before you start playing. Your headphones should work, your speaker should work, and there's no point in arriving going, oh, I can't talk, my mic broke, so I'm going to type everything. That's called play-by-post. You can go and join thousands of play-by-posts elsewhere. Check your gear, and if it's not working, send a message to the GM saying, I'm not going to make it tonight, I'm simply not ready. Checking your gear is vitally important. Check the levels, make sure that you're not howl rounding, making buzzing noises, there's no crackle on your line. It's really not that expensive to buy a cheap-ass sound card, a decent set of headphones and a mic, and to get yourself sorted. To do any otherwise means cut down on the number of McDonald's you're buying and go and get a decent mic. Rule number 1. Number 2. Your environment. You might love your siblings. You might even love your dogs. You might love your family in the background watching television very loudly. Nobody else does. It's like bringing an entire circus to the background that nobody else can see and certainly nobody else cares about. Find a quiet space, whether it's your room and you close the door, or whether it's outside and you have a room that you've set up that's supposedly quiet. It's about finding a space that's neutral. So we don't want to see people looking in behind you, waving and all that nonsense. It's a private space. This is a private game. And if you live in a household where there's screaming children, wives, husbands, lovers, wives, whatever the situation might be, maybe gaming online is not necessarily the best approach. Or perhaps you should go to an internet cafe where they've got private booths that you can sit in and talk in a nice environment. Your environment also needs to be set up that there isn't a giant window behind you unless it's a painting of a window. Because then there's light streaming in and you look terrible, or there's a glare, or there's a lamp, or there's a whatever. It's not that hard to get fairly decent lighting for online play. Rule 3. Role-playing online is difficult because you can't read body language. So when someone's trying to talk, it's very difficult if there is a small little window in the bottom of your screen to see that they're trying to get a word in edgewise because they've been bullied over by everybody else who just keeps talking. So if your GM knows what he's doing, he should be going, all right, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? All right, and then you talk during that period. If you want to say, if you want to say something, raise your hand, make a gesture. You can assign this before the game starts so that the GM, if he's seeing you doing that, he knows you want to say something. But don't talk over people. It's just a noise for everybody else and it irritates everyone. Remember, you're playing in a foreign environment here. Most people are used to you sitting around a table and having polite conversations, where if you're talking over everybody and being loud, you should go and watch the video, Are You a Dick? Right now. If you don't understand the idea that just talking over your peers is a bad thing, there's a video for you to go and watch. So online, it's even more important because oftentimes it's difficult to tell who is talking, especially if the small little windows are not auto pop-ups it is sometimes difficult to determine who's talking, and if there's lots of people talking, the GM is just seeing and hearing there's noise. So only speak on your turn. Rule number 4, arrive 10 minutes early. If you're late for the game, don't bother showing up. Everybody else is already in, they've got the rules set out, they've chatted, they've socialized, and they're running. Unless you've texted the GM and said, listen, I'm running half an hour late, please, I want to be in your game, don't bother showing up. If you're late, you're late. And if it's because of circumstances beyond your control, that's unfortunate. But all you're going to do by arriving halfway through is you're going to disrupt the story, you're going to break the flow, the guys have now got their hand signals already in place for when they want to talk, and you've arrived and you're breaking everything. No one's going to appreciate it. Trust me. So make sure you're nice and early. Check that no one else in the household is going to be downloading those tons and tons and tons of totally legal and legitimate movies and TV series, and then they're not going to be doing it whilst you're online. Usually you'll only be playing for maybe 4 or 5 hours tops. Just ask for a few hours of private internet access if you have a limited line, or if you don't have it partitioned or IT'd properly. Rule number 5. This is an important one. Long sessions, we like to snack, we like to drink stuff. Do so during the allocated breaks. And if your GM isn't ascribing you breaks, sorry GM, could we take a 5-minute bio break so I can just eat something, drink something, go to the loo, that sort of thing. Do not consume food whilst you are on air. Nobody likes to hear the sound of you masticating in public. Drinking is just as bad if you don't know how to drink properly. If you're a quiet drinker, that's fine. But if you're a slurper, you shouldn't even be playing D&D. You should just go away, find whatever tribe spawned you onto this planet to cause grief for the rest of us, and go live with them, slurping away. The point I'm trying to make is your bodily functions, whether it's chewing, whether it's drinking, whether it's getting up to go off to the loo and then coming waddling back while scratching yourself inappropriately, should be done at periods when everybody else is doing it as well. It's just polite manners. It really, really is. And then finally, I have done a video for the GMs, which will be running parallel with this one. And the advice that I gave the GMs is not to use the online electronic systems. It's not for any other reason. There are many brilliant systems out there, and those of you that like to use them, please go ahead and use them. But for those of you that want to try and get as real an experience as sitting around the table and playing with your mates, trust each other, trust your GM to roll on your own. Thank you, dog. Inappropriate noises in the background. Anyway, roll real dice on a table in front of you. Have a real character sheet written out so that you can look at your character sheet and say, I got a 1. I missed. Don't dare attempt to say, oh, I got a 19. Oh, I got a 17. Oh, I got a 16. Or, oh, look, I got a 15. I'm fine, right? What was the roll that I needed? 17. It's upside down. It's actually 19. Don't cheat. There's a video for you if you want to cheat. All right? The point is, you're rolling in front of yourself. You are being honest with yourself about your rolls, but you have that element of suspense and the sound of the dice rolling and your character sheet on paper. You're not flicking through panels going, I'll just find my character sheet. I've just got to click around until I find... No, don't do that. And the dice generators, I'm just going to randomly click to see if a dice rolls. It takes away the tactile sensation that we have. And this is a game where everything is happening inside your head except for the dice rolls. So be honest, be truthful about your rolls so that everyone can trust each other and that you can then roll on the paper in front of you. When I run online games, and I do so every second Wednesday with my Patreon supporters, and I love them dearly, we roll in front of ourselves and trust that the values that we're giving are true. And you can tell when someone's fudging the rolls repeatedly. It just doesn't come across well. Those are my 6 tips on internet role-playing etiquette and rules that I feel should never be broken. If you think I've left any out, put them down below. You know what to do. And of course, hit that like button if you agree with me. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. This question came off of our website, www.greatgamemaster.com, it's written here, greatgamemaster.com. And we love questions. Send more through. Drop them below. Ask other questions. Feel free. This is for you to improve your game and for me to learn about others and how they role play, because it is such a wonderful hobby and I love it. So, until next time, I wish you and your fellow players and your GM happy online gaming.